Minister, would you be able to answer a simple question? Why did you give Saudi Arabia a pass?
I'm actually having a conversation.
No, but you gave CBC Radio Canada 3 questions. You can answer the simple question. Why did Saudi Arabia get a pass on your carbon tax? Keean Bexte for Rebel News at the University of Calgary, where the Liberal Minister of Environment and Climate Change has come bearing gifts. He has a grant for the University of Calgary to help them reduce their carbon footprint. He opened up his talk with some climate facts that have been debunked by pretty much everyone. He says that Canada is warming at twice the rate of the rest of the world. Well, where have I heard that before? It seems like almost the whole world is warming at twice the rate of the rest of the world. It's a very convenient number to spit out, but it doesn't really make sense when you compare all of the other virtue signaling media outlets who try and spin the numbers to favor them. He also said that July was the warmest month ever on record. Well, Sheila Gunn-Reid has a video that is linked below that you can watch to see her debunk that one. But I want to get to the meat of today. It's when I asked the minister some very specific questions about Saudi Arabia and why Saudi Arabia has a pass when it comes to the carbon tax. Here's my question. Minister Keean Bexte, Rebel News. We're here today because you say that we need to fight climate change. We need to reduce carbon emissions. And right now your government is spending untold wealth on fighting the duly elected government of Alberta on their fundamental platform plank of removing the carbon tax. I note that your government doesn't tax Saudi Arabian oil imports. Why is that? Why are you not considering that? Isn't that the low-hanging fruit?
So I think what everybody can agree is that pollution should not be free. You will have been aware that there was a federal election a few months ago where this was discussed at some length. More than two-thirds of Canadians voted for political parties that campaigned on a price on pollution, but also on aggressive action on climate change.
So you're still fighting on the constitutionality of the carbon tax in general. Why don't you direct those efforts towards Saudi Arabia and just tax the blood oil that's coming from Saudi Arabia?
Again, I would say I think all Canadians would agree that pollution should not be free. We have made the decision that one of the elements of the pan-Canadian approach to fighting climate change and promoting clean growth is a price on pollution.
Does Saudi Arabian oil not have
two
carbon
questions,
emissions?
just so that everyone can get a question. We're going to move on. Thank you.
Now, they were very specific. I couldn't ask more than 2 questions because the minister's time is so valuable. But when it came to CBC Radio Canada, he was happy to oblige the 3rd question. I asked his executive assistant why that was after the media announcement. Available to answer technical questions?
So I'm just going to go on a tour right now, but
You just said you'd answer technical questions.
So I'm going to go on the tour first, and we'll see if someone can answer your questions on the announcement.
Good, how are you? Would you be able to tell me why you gave CBC Radio Canada 3 questions and you cut me off at the second one?
We had time, hopefully, for 1 question, 1 follow-up, so if you can just line up over there. So one of the questions was on the announcement, so the minister answered that in French.
But you gave him 3.
Thank you.
You don't have an answer to that, do you? Now, because I was really interested in an answer to this question, he skipped even mentioning Saudi Arabia in his response to my question. I followed them along on their tour of the University of Calgary where they showed where the funding is going. I'm not sure if the audio picked it up, but this conversation here effectively amounts to them saying they've installed automatic dimmer switches.
I work for a biomedical company. I get it.
So this funding, that's what makes it possible, right? Is to really get at the thermal energy, right?
Yeah.
So this is one of the things we will do in life essentially. So it's mostly thermal energy, but we'll
So our tax dollars are being spent wisely, as always. I followed the minister and I continued to ask this very pertinent question. 10% of the oil that is used in Canada comes from Saudi Arabia. Why do they get a pass? Why does Saudi blood oil get a pass? I asked the minister again. Minister, would you be able to answer a simple question? Why did you give Saudi Arabia a pass?
I'm actually having a conversation.
No, but you gave CBC Radio Canada 3 questions. You can answer the simple question. Why did Saudi Arabia get a pass on your carbon tax?
It's carbon fiber. One of the CDL
It's going to
Minister, some very simple questions.
it's a medical person.
Now, it wasn't too long before campus security came and, well, they wanted my name. Here's that interaction.
What's your name, please?
Why?
I just need it for my record.
That's nice. I don't have any obligation to give it to you. Why are you... You didn't ask any of the other journalists for their names?
Because I was asked by our communications and our security detail.
That's nice. I understand that you have jobs to do, but I'm under no obligation to help you with that. So, can you tell me why, specifically me? Was it the questions I asked?
No, has nothing to do with your questions. I was asked by our university communications people.
So it seems like an unreasonable thing to be asking for. And actually, you know what, you're not even law enforcement, so I'm not sure why I'm entertaining this. Ready to go? Thank you. Well, it didn't end well for them. They aren't law enforcement, and I'm under no obligation to give them any information whatsoever. I'm not going to bow down to them flexing their rent-a-cop muscles, trying to get me to stop asking the minister questions that the rest of the mainstream media refuses to ask. For Rebel News at the University of Calgary, I'm Keean Bexte. Thanks for watching our coverage here on location at the University of Calgary. If you enjoy our coverage, maybe consider purchasing yourself a premium subscription. You can do that at rebelnews.com, and it is by far the best way you can support Rebel News and the work that we do.